Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com.
All right, we are back, and we're joined by Jim the Anvil Neidhart. He's one of my favorites, and I don't just say that to everybody. People think I do, but I don't. He really is one of my favorites. It's very cool to have you here, Mr. Anvil. How are you doing?
Yeah, baby. Thank you very much. It's nice to be considered as a favorite. I appreciate that.
Very cool. And one of the things that I'm sure you hear this a lot, but it's the beard was always very cool to me. And I have a particular question because another one of my favorite facial hairs will be at the Fan Fest. We're going to talk about that. Is Ox Baker. And I just want to know who would win in the battle of facial hair, Jim the Animal Knight?
Oh, that's a good one.
Or Ox Baker.
That's a good one. You see, Ox Baker's got these eyebrows that don't quit.
Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm. And I've known Ox for a long time. Yeah, he doesn't change too much. He's pretty striking.
Yes, he is. He beat me up recently in Charlotte. But
wow!
I actually found it was an honor to be.
Christ, how old must he be? Huh? Last time I saw him, Jesus Christ, I was working for Jerry Lawler and those guys back in Tennessee. I can't remember when I saw him out there.
Yeah, he's been around a long time, and he pretty much looks the same though, as you mentioned.
Oh, he's a really good dude.
Yeah. Now, we'll let everybody know that you're going to June 21st, Warwick, Rhode Island. You're going to be part of New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame and Fan Fest. And the website is NEPW, as in New England Pro Wrestling, HOF, as in Hall of Fame, .weebly.com. And not only will you be there, you're going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So I would assume that would be a big honor for you.
Yeah. These guys that are putting it on are really, really good people out there. Mm-hmm. And I've never been involved in the Hall of Fame stuff. I never really got paid for doing anything without either bleeding or sweating or spitting or something. Mm-hmm. But this should be good.
Yeah, that could be part of the Hall of Fame ceremony. I'm not really sure.
But I know there's a lot of guys going there.
Yeah, and you'll actually be inducted by Howard Finkel.
Wow, Howard Finkel. I remember the very first time I wrestled in Madison Square Garden. Mm-hmm. I think he was there. This goes way back. But
did he have hair then?
I don't think so. Howard Finkel was a really, really cool dude. What a great guy he is. I can't tell you how many times he has helped me in some very precarious situations.
Uh-huh. Would you like
big time pay-per-views, right in there, announcing and even refereeing, I think, a little bit too. He's big. Howard Finkel is big in my eyes. A really outstanding individual. Yeah.
I've always thought he's the best ring announcer of all time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you're getting introduced to Madison Square Garden, I'm kind of partial to that place. But that's when you know you've made it. You're working main event in Madison Square Garden, and you got Howard Finkel there introducing the introductions. And doing it really, really professionally. It's really, really too cool.
Yeah. Now you mentioned, that being a special place. Now, is it when you're in a place like that? Is it just a different atmosphere, like history there, and what is it?
The Garden?
Yeah. What about it makes it just stand out?
Oh man. Well, for one thing, getting in and out of there is a big deal. But I'm telling you, it's got. I swear to God, every time I've been on my back in the garden, looking up at the ceiling, there used to be some really hot lights there before it got a little more modernized. Like from 85 to 90, there were some low lights there over the ring, and they were really hot. And every now and then I was on my back. I forget I'm on my back in in Madison Square Garden, and I'm looking right up at the ceiling. I said, wow, 1 second goes by, maybe another second. I could have sworn I saw these little animations circling the roof, like old ghost boxers and wrestlers and stuff, and entertainers.
From like people that have been through the garden. Yep,
and they were circling the roof like that. I was on my back now. I think I got slammed or something. And I'm looking at the roof, and I could have sworn that these things were circling the ceiling like little figures of ghosts and stuff like that. Surfing was really, really trippy. I never forgot it.
That's very cool.
Oh, yeah. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it was something like that.
Yeah.
Anybody that's an entertainer in this world has been through Madison Square Garden. And those people have seen everything. That's a great, great crowd to work in front of.
Yeah. Now, this particular fan fest is the New England Fan Fest, so it's primarily people have worked the Northeast, and a big part of your career is in the Northeast. Would you say that is your favorite place to have wrestled? Because you wrestled all over the world.
Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, or just the Northeast in general.
Oh.
Must be not. I don't know.
Well, I can remember when I was on this little tour called the Heart Attack Tour.
Yes.
And I had to wrestle this other guy with long, greasy hair and pink tights, too.
I remember that, yes.
And we were in 47 different major market outlets around the world. From Germany, England, Japan, United States, Canada, and God knows where else. Out of all those venues there, it's a pretty good question. I think maybe in England at Wembley Stadium is pretty good. Madison Square Garden is good. And get a good crowd out in Chicago, too.
Nope. When you said, you're wrestling, against Hitman, and you guys had, such a long, career together as a tag team, and then when you turn on them and stuff, what was that like to get the crowd, real even? You guys,
he's a big pussy.
Big pussy. All right.
He's a big pussy. How's that?
I'm for that answer. That's good. Well, what about him makes him a big pussy?
Oh, I'll tell you, it was really, really fun. It was a little harder than I thought. But, see, me being an old tag guy, I don't have a lot of wind. Yeah. I'm good for maybe, 8 or 9, 10 minutes tops as a single, tops, in the ring. In a tag, I might be able to go 15 minutes, maybe. I'm not really winded in that way to wrestle. I'm more explosive and shit like that.
Yeah.
So now wrestling Brett these damn singles every night. We're in main event every night all over the world. And I think just going into the ring in a main event as a single was a real trip for me because I've been a lot of main events as a tag, but as a single, there's a different ballgame out there.
Yeah.
You better be doing some shit because the people they really want to see it. There's a main event. You better give them something.
Nope.
And
sorry.
So I always kind of relied on Brett, for doing a little showbiz stuff, and it was a nice little combination. But now I'm stuck in there as a single, and it was very invigorating. I was really breathing out there. I'll tell you that much.
When they split you guys up, and you guys were, both had, you guys were both characters of your own. Did Vince have like big ideas for you as a single star?
I don't know. I think when they come in an idea like that and want to do something, they kind of let you go out there, and they see how you take to it.
Yeah.
They see how you go with it. You can do it,
I thought you were a really good commentator. I think an underrated commentator. Did you enjoy doing that?
The commentating was so new for me. here I'm real explosive and I'm in pretty good shape with the wrestling. All of a sudden, just pull me out of there and start talking without actually wrestling at night. It was a lot. I mean, it couldn't. It's just really different. And whenever you're doing something different like that, it's going to be difficult because it's different. You don't know what the hell you're doing, for one thing.
Yeah. Do you think if you would have became like a commentator, like after your career, your in-ring career was kind of over, would have been different as opposed to you were still like in your prime, as a wrestler, and then to move to commentary when you probably wanted to be in the ring?
Well, yeah, when you're in the ring and you're in pretty good shape and everything's working good, it's all fine. But when the promotion wants to do something else,
yeah,
it can get a little dodgy.
Just around that kind of idea, what was the story behind Who?
Oh, brother, I'll tell you, that was some real bullshit. I think it was more like a little punishment thing. I think they found some of that horrible devil weed in my system.
Right.
And finding the devil weed, they suspend you. Let you go home for a couple weeks to rest up. And so as they threw me back on the road, they said, okay, we're going to torture him a little bit. We're going to take that pink and black and shit off you and throw you in a yellow mask. Like, wow, as a single, like, ho, 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 ho. Luckily, I was in pretty good shape. I had my own wrestling ring in my backyard so I could move around a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you never worked with a mask on before, wow. It's a big, big difference. You can't see. You have no peripheral vision. So it's a lot to wander out there as a single, not being a real good single anyway, and not being able to see on top of everything.
Yeah. And it takes away one of your biggest things you have for you is your facial expressions. And
oh, yeah, you take that facial expression and throw it out the window. Now you don't have that. You can't look at the crowd because they don't give a shit if you look at them or not. And if you're wrestling with that mask on, you got to look at your opponent constantly, and it's way, way harder to wrestle with a mask on than it is without, because you got to tell people what you're doing a little bit without actually looking at them. You got to use way, way more body language. It's just really different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Walking into a big venue sold out, and you're trying to do a single with a mask on, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. Somebody's going to be at the FanFest too is Greg Valentine, and I always thought that would have been a perfect team for you because it would have been Hammer and Anvil. Have you ever teamed up, or was that ever talked about?
I think his elbow's going off.
The phone I was just on when you started ringing. I said, "Oh my God." Greg's a pretty good friend of mine, and he's really knowledgeable. He's a real good single wrestler, and does a pretty good tag too.
Yeah, I was a big Greg Valentine's fan. We have a caller here. We have the song man, John. John.
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Well, first of all, I'm going to be at the FanFest next week, so I'm going to be pleasure to meet you, if that's good.
Oh, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, great. Like, everyone knows me as a songwriter, and I for sure have one for you there and for you tonight.
A song?
Yep. Like, my name is Jim, the Anvil Neidhart, and I need to take my bath, 'cause I'm going out on my rap to sign my autograph for that fan who make himself tap when I do my laugh.
Got a beat to it, don't it? Yeah.
Very, very good, kind of catchy.
Well, question for you is, like, what match do you think was your biggest payment that you got when you were on in WWE? Let's say when you were with Brett in the Hart Foundation.
Biggest match?
Yeah, for a big payment that you got the most money for.
Oh, most money? Ha, 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 ha. That's a good one. We got a nice little payday there at WrestleMania 3, 94,500 people in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Nope.
That was okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. No. Do you have?
It was.
Do you have a different answer for that for what you consider your biggest match?
What was that question again?
Because that was your biggest match, payment-wise, but would that also be your biggest match in your career?
Oh, good question. Another good question. Well, that's it. In WrestleMania 3, that 94.5, that was a world record attendance.
Yeah.
And so I kind of judged that, like I said, when Brett and when I wrote Brett in singles, in 47 main events, all the entire world, all those major markets, from Tokyo to Australia to Europe, England and all that, all those venues, those big venues, they were all sold out. Mm-hmm. So if we didn't have a crowd, something was kind of wrong. But usually when somebody asks me about the best match and most memorable, you always kind of go back to that Madison Square Garden thing because for some odd reason, those moments in the Garden are really pretty special. I don't know why. I just think they are.
Yeah. Thank you for calling in, John. That was a very lovely song.
Thank you. I'll see you next week, Jim. Looking forward to it.
Okay, yeah. You're going to sing that song there, are you?
Oh, you never know. Some may know me well as that, but you never know.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
You might have to take John with you, and he can sing that live for your ring entrances for now. Itcher, do you have a question from the chat room or Facebook?
Well, I had a question of my own. I just want to know if you watched the NXT event where your daughter Natty took on Charlotte Flair there.
No, but I've heard a lot about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they stole the show. It was an awesome match.
I heard Ric Flair was engulfed by it.
Yeah, he was crying by the end of the match and everything. So it made it real emotional. It was a great match.
Had she always wanted to be a wrestler?
I'm always the last one to know everything.
That's how it goes down in some households. Yeah.
No, we were talking about some when you guys did the Hart Foundation again in the '90s, and that was like a really unique thing because you guys were hated in America but cheered in other parts of the country. What was that dynamic like? Cheered in other countries.
Oh, well, Canadians never know what the hell they'll do. They're usually backwards. But, as long as you're getting some good response like that, you're getting the job done.
Mm-hmm. We had Diana Hart on last week, and she talked about the Calgary Stampede. And she was saying it was very emotional for her, and it was. But what were your thoughts on it?
On the what was that again? The Calgary Stampede?
Yeah. It was like I believe like a 10-man tag. It was the Hart Foundation versus.
Was this when we were in New York?
It was in Canada.
Were we in New York?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What about it?
She was saying last week it was very emotional for her and her family because then all the Harts came in and stuff, and I didn't know if maybe she really remembered the match, but I don't know if it had any importance to you.
Well, as far as all the Harts are concerned, they're breaking my heart. Jeez. I think that was like an 8-man tag, and everybody and their uncle was jumping in and out of there.
Yeah.
I was glad the hell it was over with.
All right.
There you go.
Now, Dangerous Danny Davis will also be at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that will be wonderful. I'll tell you, if anybody out there wants to know about Dangerous Danny Davis, in WrestleMania 3, at the end of the match when the British Bulldogs are making their big comeback on us, Danny Davis takes a medley of bumps and bruises out there for about 5 minutes. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anybody fly so high up in the air from these backdrops. I said, holy jeez, Danny. Danny Davis really put out in that WrestleMania 3, and the Bulldogs bumped the living shit out of him.
Mm-hmm. I was a big fan back then, still now, but I remember, like, that guy was really hated, and I think, like, they actually could have went further with him as a heel, because people, like, really despised him, Danny Davis.
Oh, yeah. Danny Davis did a great job out there, and being a manager for us and everything, and he got a lot of heat, but Danny Davis was a very, very, very accomplished, good wrestler out there, and a very, very good performer.
Yeah. You just brought up the Bulldogs. They're going to be inducting Davey Boy Smith into the Hall of Fame. And what are your memories of wrestling the British Bulldogs?
Well, too bad Davey Boy can't be there.
Yeah.
His wife, Diana, who wrote that horrible book, bad-mouthing, and now she's coming off talking all so nicely. Oh, he was wonderful. Yeah, he was great. That book of hers was really, really way, way over the top.
Yeah,
and I don't know what I ever did to be talking about so horribly in that book like that. I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm. I believe that book's actually, it ended up being like taken off the shelves.
Yeah, thank God for that.
Mm-hmm.
I was with Brett at this autograph thing around WrestleMania in New Orleans, and Brett has this old copy of it. He pulled out and started reading it. It's like, oh my God, damn. There was like one copy of it in the Calgary library.
How are you ever going to write a book?
Well, I did go to UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
I probably could. I've got enough stuff to write about. I don't know. I've had a lot of people ask me about that, and my brother-in-law Bruce Hart said he'd be glad to help me with it, and he's very, very good at that book writing stuff.
Yeah. Now, we started the show. He's a very cool guy, and he invited me on his show. He does a podcast, too.
Oh, Bruce?
Yeah, he's very cool.
Oh, yeah, and talk about wrestling knowledge. Man, when I was wrestling in Calgary for Stu Hart, he was the booker out there. Mm-hmm. And he helped me learn the wrestling business, and he's got a hell of a creative mind for the wrestling business.
Yeah.
And very, very interesting to talk to.
Mm-hmm. And I believe he actually had the same opinion on Brett, about Brett than what you said earlier.
He has a different opinion about Brett, probably.
I actually think he has the same opinion as Brett, which was interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, as that you had earlier in the program.
Oh. Well, I never want to get in between the two brothers or in the family and stuff, but I try to stay out of that mess.
Yeah, I understand. The Nasty Boys will also be there.
Won't that be a treat?
Yeah.
That would be a real treat. I heard Knobs is up to 400 and something pounds.
Really?
Man.
Yep. But they're always really, really colorful, really fun, good people.
Yeah. Would you say they lived up to the name, the Nasty Boys?
Yeah. They definitely live up to the name of the Nasty Boys. Knobs especially, and Sags, are, tremendous grade A partiers. Partiers elite. Especially at the hotel. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Who are your favorite people to hang out with, after the shows, to party with?
Let me see. It was really cool back in the day was Jimmy Snuka.
Oh, which we just had on earlier in the show.
He is really, really, really interesting. And he's a tremendous legend in his own self,
Oh, yeah.
See, when I was coming into New York in '85, Jimmy Snuka was there before Hulk got there, and he was the man. He was the shit. He was the guy, and he still is.
Yeah.
He is really, really a tremendously dynamic person. He's fun to party with. Better hold on for a while, but he can really go. But we don't want to be mentioning things like that.
But he actually... go on, Itchman.
Oh, I was just coming in. I just wanted to know, what were your feelings on your WCW run?
A WCW?
Mm-hmm.
I've never made so much money to do absolutely fucking nothing.
So it's not that bad then, I guess.
No. It was ridiculous.
Mm.
Because I made, it was well over almost $300,000 in 12 months to do absolutely nothing and accomplish nothing. They didn't know what they were doing. And it was ridiculous. Anyway, I took that U.S. funds and I went up to Canada. The 300,000 up in Canada turns into a bunch up there.
Not anymore, but at the time it would have, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I just bought a bunch of cars and junk like that, and that's about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It's a shame they had so much talent going through there, but they didn't have anybody who knew what the hell they were doing. Eric Bischoff, I guess, was in charge. I guess with Hogan and that crew, and I thought the NWO thing was kind of cute, but they never had any real direction toward it, you know.
Mm.
But that seemed to be really catching on.
You know, after before you went to WCW, you know, after the screw job and Brett left, was that how were you treated in WWF? Like, you know, right after that.
After what?
After Brett left, after the screw job.
The screw job. In Montreal, that thing?
Yes.
Oh. Well, you know, I wasn't under a contract. I had to stay in there and work. And so here I'm doing all these singles, and every night, and all of a sudden they started liking what I was doing as a single. And things got really good. And then Owen was around there, and they started putting Owen tagging with me a little bit. Is that all right?
Yeah. Did Owen ever play any ribs on you? He's notorious for the ribs.
Oh, God, damn. Did Owen ever play any ribs on me? Jeez. Yeah, kind of.
Anyone you'd like to share?
Oh, from X-rated stuff. Owen would like to always call on the telephone, pretend he's somebody else.
Uh-huh.
He's pretty good at that. Pretty good in making sure you had the wrong key to your room at night. Like every night.
Uh-huh. So nothing like nothing that would do permanent damage or anything. Or maybe not. I don't know.
Well, Owen was such a cute little river in that Brett and I, we had to get very devious and plan something really high tech on him. And that worked pretty good. I remember Owen didn't drink any alcohol. Mm-hmm. And it was a big deal we get Owen to drink something. So here, one night, Brett and I we were going to try to get Owen to have a couple of drinks. And then with a couple of drinks, we were going to put a couple of Mickeys in there. A couple of high-powered sleeping pills.
Yeah.
And we eventually ended up throwing him in front of the hotel. He fell asleep in front of the hotel behind the bushes next to the front door, which is cute.
Uh-huh.
Little things like that were good.
Yeah.
But those are highly planned.
Yeah. I'd say he deserved it, too, since he's always pulling ones on other people.
Oh, yeah, he most wholeheartedly deserved that.
What would you say the best, you know, it doesn't have to be Owen, but what would be the best rib you've ever seen or been part of?
Oh. That might take some time to explain.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'd have to think about that one a little bit. I'd put that one on the bad burner.
All right, cool. Maybe we'll have you back sometime, and you can tell. We'll do a rib show. Tell some of the best ribs. Countdown.
Oh, yeah.
So I mentioned just a couple of names here quick that will also be at the Fan Fest, and it's Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh, that would be so tremendous to see him up there. I did a bunch of autograph stuff with him in New Orleans, and Bobby the Brain has not changed one goddamn bit. He is so funny. He's hysterical. What a really, really great person he is. I love Bobby.
So we had him on early when we started doing the show. I think it was 2006, and I think it still stands up as one of probably our funniest to interview. He's hilarious.
I'll tell you, he's a real hell of a guy.
Mm-hmm.
We all have little setbacks and everything in our life and stuff like that, and nothing's going to stop Bobby Heenan from doing anything. I think he is a tremendous example to a lot of people. I know he's a tremendous example to me.
Yeah, it's very
and I just can't say not enough good things about him.
Yeah, well, that's very good.
And I was when I first started commentating, Bobby Heenan was to the right of me, and then Gorilla Monsoon was on the other side. And I was like, oh, my God, damn, am I going to be able to do this?
Uh-huh.
And I was pretty worried because Bobby is as good a talker as they get.
Yeah. I think that, for me, that's the best, the heel commentator. Heenan's the best.
Oh, yeah, he has one-liners all day and night. I don't know where they come from.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he's really, really funny and still is.
Mm-hmm. And a great chemistry with Gorilla. They really played off each other well.
Oh, yeah. Imagine not commentating before. I've never done any of that. And then thrown in the middle of that shit?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I was so nervous I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did they, do their best to try to help you out? Put in? Or not?
Well, we all had to get through it. We had a lot of tapings up there in Stamford, Connecticut, at some private studios they used to do out there. And so we had, we had a lot of voiceovers and a lot of stuff to do. So, they definitely. I was trying as hard as I could the whole time, but they were so way, way better than I was that they really carried me as much as they possibly could.
That's cool. Demolition. Both of them will be there.
Yeah.
All right. From that, yep. I think that means move on to someone else. There's Handsome Harley Race, one of the greatest NWA champions. There's really pretty much everyone who's been in wrestling is here, but it is cool because there's a nice mix of people from all different eras.
Demolition.
Mm-hmm.
They're my guys over there. Barry Darso, Jesus Christ, is my old partner.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And Bill Eadie. Yep. I saw them in New Orleans, and they're doing great. Haven't changed one bit.
Let's see. Luke Williams from Bushwackers. Bushwhacker Luke.
Yeah, I see Luke all the time over here in St. Pete. He has a great gym over there. It's right next to my doctor's office, my chiropractor's office, Dr. Price. And Luke's doing real good. The Bushwhackers, I mean, I don't know what these guys are running on, but Luke was the very first guy I saw in Calgary, Canada. Luke and Butch, when I first got off the bus there to go wrestle for Stu, when I'd never wrestled before, ever.
Yeah. Yep.
And Luke was wrestling then. He still wrestling now. It's like, God damn, what is this guy running on?
Mm-hmm.
They're tremendous wrestlers, tremendous people.
Yeah. Yeah, we had him on a couple weeks ago, and he talked about you wrestling for Stu it was like in the 70s, and there are definitely guys who wrestled all over the world, all different styles. There's a lot of people.
You got that right.
I think a lot of people just think them as the comedy guys as the Bushwhackers, but they did all the hardcore stuff. They did actual ring wrestling and Calgary.
Hey, they can do it all. They can do it all, and Luke still is doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Let's see. Just a couple more names here. Scott Norton. Did you ever do anything with him? Because you guys have a very similar build.
With Scott Norton? Big Scott Norton?
Yeah.
Yeah. I managed to get fucking slammed through the apron a bunch of times in the WCW with him. That was fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time.
Scott Norton is about as big as you want to get as a human being.
Yes. He is very.
And he's lost a little weight now. He looked pretty good in New Orleans. I've been in Japan with Scott, working for Antonio Inoki and New Japan Pro Wrestling over there.
What are your thoughts on working in Japan? Because a lot of people really love Japan, and some people.
You got to go there and kick the shit out of those Japs. Basically,
yeah.
They love that about Scott Norton. He used to beat the living shit out of us. A bunch of them, all of them, and they like it. Oh, thank you, Mr. Please hit harder.
Did you personally like that kind of style of wrestling?
See, when I was going over to Japan, then I was a little newer to the business, and I was probably pretty stiff myself, but. I love going to Tokyo in Japan. I really miss Japan. That's a really cool place to eat and shop and all that stuff. Really fun.
Part of this convention, they also, I don't know the exact terminology. If some people say enhancement talent, some people will use the term jobber. I don't know. But, they've got guys like Mario Mancini will be there, and Jose Luis Rivera, and the Duke of Dorchester. And, what are your thoughts on, those kind of guys?
So all those guys are tremendous and were very, very important to the business. And, I haven't heard anybody say jobber in a long time. Now I feel like a real old timer.
I actually said enhancement talent to Mario Mancini, who was on a few weeks ago, and he's like, he said, I'm offended by that term. He said, he actually wanted, he liked the term jobber, so I don't know.
Well, today, with the new entertainment value of the WWE and all that, the jobber thing is kind of like a lost art. There's a bunch of jobbers in there.
Yes.
How's that?
That is a good way to put it. But I do like that the New England Fan Fest actually honors those guys who, like you said, were a big part of the business and might not necessarily, get recognition. So I think that's very cool.
Well, believe me, they're very, very, very important to the business. And, if it wasn't for those guys like me and Brett and stuff like that would have never gotten started. Because if you remember the first couple of years of my career, along with Brett's, we do these really short matches in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
And all these guys would come in and put us over really fast. So we'd beat these guys in 30 seconds. This went on for a couple of years. And that helps you get made out there. They're making you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you go to wrestle in the garden and everything. All of a sudden you start making money. The reason you're making all that money because these guys are wrestling with you in your younger days and making things go right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the kind of wrestling I grew up with. Watching. And then it would be a great treat when you go to the show and you'd see actual guys big stars wrestling each other. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it takes all kinds of boxers and wrestlers on the card to make a card.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, when we started doing the interviews here for the Fan Fest, I was like, and you used to give me the quote-unquote big-name guys, and I said, I grew up watching a lot of those guys, Mario Mancini and the Duke of Dorchester, and I'd love to have them on, and it was I thought it was great to get to talk to them.
Yeah, Mario Mancini. He was very, very good. And who's the other Italian I'm thinking about? The big one Italian they had. Shit.
Salvatore Bellomo?
Yes. How the hell could I forget his name? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, all those guys, I grew up, I was born in 76, so I watched all the 80s stuff, and I remember those guys in a way as fondly as, as the big stars. It's different, but I remember them all.
Takes all kinds to make a business,
Yeah. But I want to let everybody know, June 21st, You're going to be in Warwick, Rhode Island, along with tons of other people for the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame and Fan Fest. It's very cool during the day. It's Fan Fest. You get to meet the guys, get your autographs, your signatures, and I believe you'll actually be part of a Q&A sometime in the afternoon. And then that night, it'll be a Hall of Fame ceremony, so it's a really great event, and I hope everyone comes out who can.
Wow, it sounds exhausting.
Yes.
I'll have to bring my energy pills with me.
Yes. Yeah, I drink my Gatorade. So.
Oh, good for you.
I liked how you said that. Well, it was a pleasure to talk to you. It really
nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And are you coming down the whole thing? We're going to see each other or what?
Yes.
Very, very good. Looking forward to it. Listen, thank you for a nice interview. I hope I can be helpful to this thing, and there's going to be a lot of characters. Just looking at the Nasty Boys, the weight of knobs is a lot. That's a big deal.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm probably about the same size as those knobs, only a lot shorter. So. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you there.
Okay, it was very nice talking to you.
Yeah, I'd love to have you back sometime.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Harry Smith, and you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com.